Who gets imposter syndrome? Welcome to the School of Self-Worth Live. This is episode number 122. I'm Sam Osborne, the self-worth guy. Today we are talking about who gets imposter syndrome. And I want you to remember one message from today, and that is 2 out of 3 get imposter syndrome. 2 out of 3, can you believe it? 70% actually is what the research says. If you just do a little bit of research on Google Scholar, you're going to find that most of the research done says that about 2 out of 3 people suffer from imposter phenomenon or syndrome feelings. But today I'm just going to talk about 3 types of people that suffer from it and what they can do to lessen the effects of imposter syndrome. I'm going to talk about high achievers. I'm going to talk about people pleasers and perfectionists. Let's go. So if you're a high achiever, and you're suffering from imposter syndrome, you are not alone. In fact, you're not alone if you're a perfectionist or any of the other types of people that suffer imposter syndrome. There's a lot of people out there suffering from imposter syndrome, but high achievers get it the most, apparently, because, well, they got a lot of pressure on themselves to achieve even more. And it's like they've got this feeling inside their mind. And I used to go through it. Sometimes I still go through it a little bit. It sort of pops up a little bit. This idea that you got to keep achieving more, and there's this kind of feeling of got to prove yourself to other people and also to yourself, and that you can never quite achieve enough. Now, the problem with imposter syndrome, basically, it's the definition is it is a fear of having your inadequacies, especially around your intellect, being exposed as fraudulent, as meaning that you're not actually smart. And this is, I think, what happened to me at one point. I definitely thought that I was not too intelligent. And so, yeah, you kind of hold back in life, or you hold back from expressing your intelligence to people because there's a kind of fear that if you do that, people come to expect that you're going to be like that all the time. But there is this fear that if you keep going, that people will find out actually you don't know what you're talking about. But what I've realized, and here's the tip for high achievers, it doesn't matter if you don't know everything there is to know about your topic. In fact, people don't care about know-it-alls. We kind of like a person who's a little rough around the edges, someone who is, got a flaw or a defect, or someone we can relate to. I think if you're trying to be a high achiever all the time and it's pressuring you, let it go a little bit. It's okay not to achieve such high things all the time. That being said, there's a lot of, good reasons to want to achieve high things. It's a good quality. But if you're feeling like an imposter because you are afraid that your achievements are not earned, or your achievements have been accomplished by luck, and it's really beating you up on and eating you up on the inside, just remember, you don't have to know everything. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. People love you the way you are. And in fact, people will probably love you for admitting that sometimes you feel like you don't know everything. I think that's an endearing quality to say to people, look, I kind of feel like I don't know my stuff. That is a great conversation opener, because lots of people feel that way. A lot of people think that they don't know their stuff, even though they might be in a position where they are framed as the expert. Maybe they've got a lot of experience or seniority, and that they are considered to be the expert in their field. But a lot of experts actually say, the more I learn, the more I realize I don't know. So it's okay if you don't achieve everything and if you don't get everything right all the time. Now let's move on to people pleasers. They're everywhere, aren't they? Those people, they're like the George Costanzas of the world. George Costanza from, the Seinfeld show. He is his own worst enemy because he's always trying to make sure everybody else is impressed with him, that he can, gain some sort of credit points from, showing off or being the man. But he's so worried about, making sure that everybody likes him and that he's like a yes man. And he shoots himself in the foot all the time because of that. And he's worried about, all this all the time. So if you're a people pleaser, and you feel like you need to prove yourself, much like the high achievers, don't worry about it. Just go and watch some Seinfeld and you'll know what happens to people if they try to be a people pleaser. George Costanza. The last point is perfectionists. Put your hand up if you're a perfectionist. It's okay. Nobody's watching. Now, I've been a perfectionist before, and I don't think it's a bad thing all the time to be a perfectionist. In fact, it's a great quality to want something to be like sweet. That's a great quality to aim for perfection. That's where great innovation comes from. On like the great accomplishments of life come from people who've got this spirit of, I want it to be really something of quality. So don't think that perfectionism is all bad. But if you're finding that perfectionism or the quality within you is causing you to not start projects or not go for that job or not ask for that promotion or not complete a task, or, when you get to maybe halfway or you've just started a task and you literally just throw the ball out of rubbish out, like a writer, those scenes in a movie where the writer starts a movie, typing a screenplay, and they write like 2 words and go, no, and they throw it away. That's perfectionism. Don't worry about that. Aim for completion. It's, I think it's a much more, it's going to build your self-worth if you aim for completion and it's a rough draft, because you can always do another one. Don't try to make it perfect if it's causing you a lot of anguish. Okay, that's not going to help you. Aim for completion, but remember that it's okay to want things to be perfect. All right, so let's summarize. Who gets imposter syndrome? 2 out of 3 people, approximately 70% of people, according to the research. So I have a free gift for you. It's called Crush Imposter Syndrome Forever, the starter kit for bulletproof confidence. And you can get it at the links above and below. And it's on your screen right now, samosborne.com/starter kit. And I invite you to join the School of Self-Worth Facebook group. That is the absolute best place to get hold of me and say hi and request your videos on the topic to do with imposter syndrome, confidence, self-worth, self-esteem, the authentic self. And if you remember one thing from today's episode, it is 2 out of 3 people get imposter syndrome. All right, everybody. Have a great day. Bye.